state has an update of the COVID-19 website once a day now. So let's start with some good news. So far, 135 people have recovered from coronavirus. Nearly 7,400 tests have been completed. There are 332 total cases in the state. Richland County in eastern Montana now has 2 cases. Glacier County has another case, now for a total of 2. Gallatin County still has the most reported cases with 120. In total, 31 people across the state have been hospitalized. On Monday, we asked you to submit your questions about COVID-19. Many of you responded with some great questions for Benefice infectious disease physician Anna Stevens. MTN's Jennifer Walters sat down with her to get some answers. Here's some of the highlights of the interview.
So for those questions, can we talk a little bit about just what symptoms people are seeing and kind of anything that anybody should be looking out for?
So coronavirus honestly looks very, very similar to just about any other common head cold virus, any other respiratory virus. A lot of people do have fevers from that, and headache is also fairly common too. But then we have the other end of the spectrum where some people have no symptoms at all. And so it's quite varied, and it also varies by people's immune system status and also by their age as well. So it can look very similar to a lot of other things that we experience, multiple times during the course of a winter.
As far as being able to do more testing, do we have a better capability now than we did in the past?
Oh,
Is there
certainly.
more tests available?
We do, and a lot of our tests that are lower priority will be sent off to the state, but we also now are one of 2 hospitals in Montana that have a test that we can run in our own microbiology lab, and the turnaround time for the test, the result time for the test is only a couple hours. So we are using that, but supplies are also limited from the manufacturer of the test, so we are trying to be judicious in who we test. But that is our method right now. Any patient that's inpatient here gets the rapid test.
Was there anything else that you wanted to let people know about or wanted to talk about?
I think my only final caution is just be aware of a lot of misinformation online. There's a lot of very strange and not well-founded ideas that are circulating about, and I just want to encourage people to be really careful with where their health information is coming from. I think using well-vetted websites, including the CDC website and other public health department websites, things like that, just make sure you go to a source that is reliable.
Absolutely, I agree, and that's why we wanted to do this, was to get it from the source. So.
Question and answer session is available on our website. Well, as healthcare workers around the country face some tough times and added stress during the COVID-19 pandemic, a restaurant in Great Falls is doing what it can to help. Our Isaiah Dunk has more.
This isn't usually how Aaron Weissman likes his dining room at Teriyaki Madness to look, but it's a sign of the times for the owner of the restaurant on 10th Avenue South. The COVID-19 pandemic has limited many restaurants to delivery and takeout only, but the community has helped keep things running.
There's been a lot of days and it's been really slow. The support of the Great Falls community throughout this process as it's been ramping up, and there's some groups that have been forming on Facebook that have really been encouraging people to support local businesses and local restaurants, and that's really helped us keep our doors open. Without any doubt, it's a lot slower than we'd like it to be.
And now Teriyaki Madness is giving back. The chain has a new promotion intended to help healthcare workers. It's called the Pay It Forward campaign. Sponsors spend $75, and Teriyaki Madness will match that to cater a teriyaki bar at hospitals and other facilities, enough to feed 10 people.
I think they really appreciate having a nice meal, having good food, and not having to travel out and put themselves more at risk to go find food. As they're having to do longer and longer hours in their respective offices, in the ER, in the ambulance service, finding the time to make food is something that they don't necessarily have. And being able to bring hot filling food with healthy ingredients to them is something that I think is just a win-win.
And while being able to help healthcare workers is a bonus, there's another silver lining. Great Falls Teriyaki Madness is using this time to renovate its dining room, and Weissman is having his own employees do the work to avoid reduced hours and layoffs.
I haven't had to reduce anybody's hours, but what we're doing is we're remodeling and going to repaint the dining room. And personally, I'm really looking forward to inviting all of Great Falls to a remodeled Teriyaki Madness dining room after all this craziness is over.
In Great Falls, Isaiah Dunk, MTN News.
Stimulus checks could start going out later this week, and while some people are saying they're grateful for the help, they also say it's not nearly enough. In a recent bank rate survey, 31% of people who are expecting checks said that money won't last a month. 8% said it won't help at all. Half of the people surveyed said they'll use the money to catch up on bills. About a third said they'll put it into savings. Lawmakers in Washington are already working on a possible fourth stimulus bill, which could make more aid available. Our STORMTracker weather team is still tracking a bit of chill in the air after a cold front moved in yesterday. And Brandon, today it's been a little on the cooler side, but still pretty nice.
Yeah, not too bad. Had lots of sunshine for most of the day, much less wind compared to the past couple of days. We're going to look outside to start things off here in Great Falls. We've got a little bit of high, thin cloud cover that has rolled in. That's not going to last all that long, and really it's been a mostly sunny day up until this point. 45 degrees the current temperature, and the wind is the huge change. 7 miles per hour out of the northeast compared to the over 40 mile per hour gusts we were dealing with for the past couple of days here. Again, we expect skies to clear out through the night tonight. That cloud cover shouldn't be lasting too long. For some reason, it's going to be sunny overnight instead of mostly clear. That's interesting. A low of 24 degrees expected in Great Falls. There's that sunshine. 62, beautiful day for our Thursday. Not too much wind either. Southeast wind at about 3 to 6 miles per hour. So Thursday is looking great. Friday not too bad, but Friday night into Saturday, we do have some changes on the way. We've actually got a winter storm watch in effect Friday night through Saturday. Some heavy snow, some gusty winds, huge drop in our temperatures for all those areas shaded in purple, and we're going to have a lot more on that winter storm later in the show.
All right, thanks, Brandon. Well, right now, many people are cooking from home, and it's easy to turn to those comfort foods during this time of isolation. One nutrition expert tells us that all that comfort food doesn't have to be unhealthy. MTN's Caitlin Boycell takes us to the kitchen for a cooking lesson.
It's a way to bring people together.
Chopping, prepping, and closing the oven.
It's delicious.
Meet Lindsay. She's a chef in Great Falls and has been doing this for over 10 years. And food to her is something more than a drive-through.
Food was traditionally always kind of the center of culture, of relationships, of everything. And so we've lost that. Now it's become this thing that we just get shoved in our window at a drive-through and you shove in your face as you go. But cooking and food and where that all comes from, that whole part is key to everything.
Her passion for food not only plays out in the kitchen, but online.
So when we can bring people together, teach them to cook as a group, even if that group is currently on Zoom or online.
But times have been different these days.
A lot of people are emotional eating, right? They're stress eating, and so they're home all day. They're eating all the junk food.
Lindsay has some easy tips on how to stay healthy.
Everybody wants comfort food, and I said just add some veggies to it, right? Focus on eating a rainbow of colors over the course of the day. It's getting to be spring, so plant a few things. Even if it's just some herbs in a little box in your window, having some fresh herbs that you're growing yourself.
So I'm here with Lindsay, the amazing chef, and we're practicing our 6-foot distancing right now, but enjoying a lovely meal together. One thing that she wanted people to know is that before you take your first bite, take a moment and have gratitude and take a deep breath in. So that's what we're gonna do, and then we're gonna dig right into this. So ready? Reporting in Great Falls, Caitlin Boycell, MTN News. And let's do it. The chicken's awesome.
Isn't that nice?
And she adds the key to some healthy eating is prepping, not overcooking, and to also use it as a time of relaxation. She also has some upcoming online classes you can be a part of. You can check KRTV.com for more details on that. Meanwhile, a new food menu has made its way to Great Falls, bringing another cuisine to people under the stress of quarantine. Spices and Spurs owner Cassie Campbell is serving up a whole new level of comfort food. That food truck rolled into town today and aims to fill a new niche created by coronavirus chaos. Campbell works full-time at a restaurant during her slower months, but due to COVID-19 decided to open early this year. The decision created some financial uncertainty for herself, but provided stability for others around her.
It wasn't fair for me to continue to work for them full-time when other people needed the work, when I could try and supplement my own income.
Spices and Spurs will be set up in the CVS parking lot along 10th Avenue South on Wednesdays and Thursdays. We'll have more on her business coming up tonight at 10. Well, still to come here at 5:30, Gallatin County leads the state with the most cases of COVID-19. We're looking into how the sheriff's office there is handling an inmate diagnosed with the virus.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The 5:30 news continues on KRTV, Montana's news leader.
Welcome back. The Gallatin County Sheriff's Office says an inmate inside their detention center has tested positive for COVID-19. MTN's Cody Boyer breaks down the precautions the jail is taking.
According to Gallatin County Sheriff Brian Gutkin, when this man came into the Gallatin County Detention Center, he was not showing signs of COVID-19. However, upon testing, he tested positive and they worked quickly.
The foresight and the great design, we're prepared.
It began Saturday when Sheriff Gutkin says a man who violated his probation came into the Gallatin County Detention Center from the inmate reentry program.
He was not symptomatic during the entire stay, including intake.
No symptoms, but still, the sheriff says the inmate was quarantined into here, a negative pressure cell.
There was no showing. We were actually notified by where he came from that they had a positive test over there.
This is direct ventilation out.
Through a video, Sheriff Gutkin took us inside the jail, demonstrating the two cells used to separate inmates from the others, from the ventilation to the nursing staff.
This is exactly how the nurse looks when they're dealing with these inmates.
He also demonstrated how inmates are instructed to follow social distancing protocol. Gutkin adds the inmate was released, but under health department observation.
Our health people in the jail worked with the health department and made sure that that person was going to quarantine and even notified where that person was going.
Gutkin says no other inmate is showing signs or has tested positive for the virus outside of this case.
We are doing everything in our power to make sure that these inmates are healthy and safe.
A series of protocols Sheriff Gutkin points out that the jail takes seriously all the time, COVID or not.
I like to say we're the lighthouse in the storm because, we can't panic. We have to make sure that we operate and that everyone's safe.
In Bozeman, Cody Boyer, MTN News.
And Sheriff Gutkin says the inmate went through their probation and parole hearing as they normally would and stayed in the jail for the typical 72 hours before he was released.
Well, tomorrow is looking like a really nice spring day, but winter weather coming back for the weekend. We'll have the forecast coming up.
Thanks. Now, here's your STORMTracker weather forecast with meteorologist Brandon Michaels.
You can definitely see the effects of yesterday's cold front on our weather today. Not so much on the high line. You guys were already pretty chilly by this time yesterday, but many of us were still fairly warm. You can see the temperatures have dropped quite a bit, 14 degrees. Cooler right now than it was at this time yesterday in Great Falls. The actual temperature still isn't too bad. We're at 45 degrees, 45 in Fort Benton as well, 43 in Chester. Still a couple or at least 150 on the board there in Jordan. So not doing too bad there. As far as the winds, as expected, we did have some stronger winds to the east today. Glasgow, Scobie, Wolf Point, Jordan, 40+ mile-per-hour wind gusts, but most of us actually saw those winds die down quite a bit. Even places like Havre that were a little bit breezier, especially early in the day, had a 30 mile-per-hour wind gust there. They were up to 45 yesterday, so that's progress. Same thing with Great Falls. The peak wind gust, which was early in the day, only at about 28 miles per hour. Had a lot of sunshine through the day as well. Today, we're going to zoom out here. We can see a little bit of cloud cover streaming through the area. We've got some clouds kind of exiting off to the east, and then off to the west, we've got a little area of cloud cover that's kind of pushing into the area. Maybe even a couple of light showers possible up toward Glacier and northern Toole counties. We'll keep an eye on those through the night tonight, but we're really not expecting too much to come of them. In fact, we're expecting clearing skies through the evening hours. So mostly clear by about midnight here. A lot of sunshine expected through the day today. In fact, I think probably even more than what this model is showing. This is bringing in a little bit more cloud cover than I'm expecting. I think lots of sunshine. Clouds are increasing, though, by the time we get to Friday morning, and then that cold front drops quickly through the area late Friday morning into the early afternoon. Behind that front, of course, temperatures are going to be falling. We're also seeing a little bit of a rain-snow mix developing, and eventually, as that moisture flows in from the north, we are going to be seeing quite a bit of snow as well. You can see Saturday at noon, almost the entire area dealing with snow. Looks like northeast Montana and parts of the Highline, though, is going to be a little bit less heavily hit from this. So some good news for that area, while the rest of us are tracking some pretty significant impacts from this. So I'm not going to dive too far into the snowfall forecast today. We'll get into that tomorrow. We're still about 72 hours out, but widespread snow, some areas of heavy snow. In general, the areas where we're under a winter storm watch are expecting a heavier snow. My thinking right now for Great Falls is probably about 5 to 8 inches, but of course that may change. We're still a little bit out. Gusty winds means blowing and drifting snow and additional travel impacts, and of course behind that cold front, temperatures are going to be very cold. High temperatures in the 20s and 30s. Let's get into the next 24 hours here, though. We won't going to get too distracted by that winter storm. 21 overnight tonight for Hayes, 25 for Benton, 23 in Cutbank, 23 in Glasgow as well. Tomorrow's high temperatures actually fairly comfortable for many of us. Still a little bit chilly off to the east. Only 46 for Glasgow, only 42 for Scobie, but you get farther off to the west, you start seeing some 50s, and I think we could even hit a couple of 60s tomorrow. I'm going 62 degrees for the high temperature in Great Falls, so a nice mild day for our Thursday, and on top of that, no wind. It was obviously a little bit breezy in eastern Montana today. We are not expecting that for our Thursday. In general, calm, sunny, and warm for our Thursday. Then we start to see the changes on Friday. So let's break it down here. Sunny skies, beautiful day Thursday, mostly cloudy for Friday. I think we could see a couple of showers developing in the late afternoon and evening. Temperature capped a little bit by that cold front moving through. Very chilly by Saturday. High temperature 30 degrees. That's probably going to be pretty early in the day. We are expecting heavy snow there as well. Most of the snow will be done by Sunday, which is good news for Easter, but very chilly, 26 degrees. And then we slowly see some warming toward the end of the forecast, up to about 40 degrees by Wednesday. Shannon?
Thanks, Brandon. We have more to come here on your 5:30 news. Many people have had to get used to a new norm working from home. Coming up, how the office at home is a physical and mental adjustment.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The 5:30 news continues on KRTV, Montana's news leader.
Thanks for staying with us. More people are working from home than ever before, but most homes aren't designed for 8 hours of office work a day. MTN's Andy Curtis takes a look at how to stay comfortable and healthy while working from home.
So it turns out all the comforts of home aren't actually that comfortable for working. Companies will often invest hundreds of dollars per employee to create an ergonomic workspace that doesn't cause pain.
And if you're not careful, bad work posture can lead to personal health consequences.
It's going to be one of those things that it's going to creep up to you and it's going to come on. And by the time you feel it, you've already done some damage, right, to your posture, to your neck muscles, right? The old cliche of an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure could not be more true. I mean, with occupational injury.
First, you're going to want to find an area with as much natural light as possible, but not glaring. Dimly lit rooms like this one can contribute to eye strain and headaches. Set aside a work area where you can have your feet flat on the floor, your hips, knees, and elbows at 90 degrees, and use pillows for seat and lumbar support. Raise your monitor or laptop so the top of the screen is level or just below your eye line, and take breaks.
Keep a normal routine, which means do take your 15-minute break in the morning, do take your lunch hour away from your work area, just so that once again you're moving around and not in one static position for any extended period of time.
Spending all day inside can also lead to vitamin D deficiency, which has been linked to depression and loss of bone density.
Whenever you do get a chance, take a walk outside, while still being mindful of social distancing, of course. Reporting in Helena, MTN News team of Andy Curtis and John Riley.
Health experts also warn all this extended time in homes can lead to some extra weight gain. Food should be left in the kitchen to prevent over snacking, and it's recommended that people get at least 150 minutes of moderate, intense exercise. Well, getting a good night's rest seems to be getting harder for some people. Just take a look at Twitter. One recent trending hashtag is pandemic nightmares. People are reporting having more vivid dreams and nightmares relating to the coronavirus and trouble sleeping in. Sleep experts say that's normal in a time of stress. They suggest keeping to a regular schedule, decreasing caffeine intake during the day, and implementing a calming routine before bedtime. We'll have a final look at your forecast right after this.
We do have that winter storm heading our way. That's mainly for the weekend. Tomorrow, looking like some really nice weather. Lots of sunshine in the forecast. I think pretty much wall-to-wall sunshine through the day on Thursday. Winds are not going to be very strong, and the temperature very comfortable, 62 for our high.
Well, if you're missing sports highlights on TV, we want you to send your sports-related home videos. It can be anything you've been doing to pass the time during quarantine, from a trick shot in your driveway hoop to a game you created yourself. Anyone can do it. Just head to KRTV.com for more information on how to submit your videos, and we'll be sharing those highlights from home videos here coming up in the next few weeks. We're looking forward to seeing all your creativity.
Yeah, that sounds like a fun little segment.
Yeah, I feel like we need to create some type of game.
Yeah, I'm going to try. I'm going to fail, but I'm going to try.
Okay, we'll look forward to it. Yeah. Not your failing, the try.
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
All right, we'll see you at 9 on the CW and back here at 10.